Hello, Myra. Welcome. KP Heathen, my friend from Louisiana. Help. How are you doing? How? How are you doing? Oh, Lord. Living proof I am part Indian. How? Uh, I'm told that my father's mother was part Cherokee. The Cherokees were in Georgia. That's where the father's family's from, is Georgia. Uncle Al died Bullfrog 79. Yes, 12 gauge. I prefer 20 gauge at my age. Triple buck doesn't kick. 20 gauge triple up buck doesn't kick as bad as 12 gauge double up buck. Oh man, I have both, and I have a supply of both. But personally, if I was wanting to clear a room, I'd simply use my 20 gauge pump. The Bud Files. Welcome, Bud Files. And Linda Powers, welcome. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. 5 in the house, 5 likes. Six likes. Thank you. Thank you. Well, what do we talk about tonight? Want a little recap? How's it been going? I got my news out. I said I wanted to try to get news out, and I was going to try to get another box out, which I didn't get another box ready. My friend Dave from my ancestral homeland, Georgia, Guru and Wahoo the Turtle fame, Yoda. He's right now. He's in the batter's box. Little Lone Prepper, hello. Welcome. Well, I tell you, I enjoy doing those little short news, and I've been focusing. I've decided to focus when I do one. I think the best thing for me to do is just focus on one topic. So I did a border wall update about the Texas effort. So Texas has its own effort, Operation Lone Star. from Governor Abbott's prompting, and working on trying to secure along the Texas border. But the Texas border with Mexico is roughly half the border with Mexico. So the federal government, they're ramping up their efforts. And I'm going to do another, excuse me, I'm going to do another article. I'll do another 5-minute news on what is the federal government doing to secure the border. And just to mention a couple of things, they have about 150 miles of Constantina wire that they're installing. And they're, some of the places they're installing it, they already have border wall. You know, like you've got these 30-foot high metal walls, and they're putting Constantina wire, so if you manage to get over it, you got to get through the Constantina wire. And you can see it because these walls, you got little slots in between. You can see what they're putting up. And it's like, do you really want to try that? They're also putting Constantina wire in areas where they do have wall, but it's not really high wall. Like, you know, you're talking about 10, 12-foot high walls. Metal walls. 10, 12 feet. There are some places where they put up different types of wall, different, you know, materials and such. And they're putting Constantina wire at the top of some of that fencing, call it fencing or whatever. They're putting Constantina wire up there. They're putting Constantina wire on the ground below it to try to discourage people from wanting to come over. And, you know, and when you're doing that, and it's at that point, you know, I don't think you're going to have people with kids trying to get over those areas of wall. You might have young men trying to do it. But I don't think you're going to have, you know, like your family types where you got women and children trying to get through that. So, mom of 4 boys. Hello, Rachel. And Melinda Elliott. Hello, Melinda. So I'm going to do on my topics. I'm going to do one on what the feds are doing. I think my chicken news was pretty good. I think I covered that fairly well. The situation with the price of eggs and everything. So I need to write that down. So we need to look at the Fed's efforts to secure the wall. And, you know, and you got people crying. You got you got the socialists crying about, oh, they're misusing the military. You know, they're using the military to install the Constantina wire. You see all these soldiers, National Guard and soldiers. I don't see them carrying weapons. I'd like to see soldiers carrying weapons. You know, I would think that if you had these people wanting to come across the border, see military carrying, you know, automatic weapons, might discourage them a little bit more. What I see is they're just, you know, they got their gloves on, they got their helmets on, they got their black shades on, you know, they look cool, and they're out there working on the Constantina wire, trying to spread the Constantina wire out. But I don't see it to where I want intimidation. It'd be nice if they'd fire a few rounds in the air. They, you know, there was an incident here a while back. They went up shooting. You had somebody get violent, and Border Patrol had to shoot one of them. You know, well, word that gets out, hey, they're starting to shoot them. Maybe it'll discourage them from coming over. You know, not that I'm asking for a massacre or anything. I'm just saying word needs to get out. You do not come to our country illegally. Margie, welcome, Margie. Thank you for coming. Margie TV, my friend from the other side of the world. Thank you for coming. Please feel free to drop your link. Devil Dog Prepper, the man of the hour. Thank you for your service. And I have not looked at your box video. I think you said you dropped your box video. I look forward to seeing it. My conscience is telling me, be careful. Be careful. Don't talk about that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm not encouraging violence. You know, I'm not encouraging violence. I tell you, you know, I used to go to just about everything that come out in the movies. Everything that come out in the theaters, I used to go to. I'm not saying that they need to be the ones, but there need to be some people walking around the background, you know, conspicuously carrying, you know, weapons. What would happen if somebody, somebody on the other side of the wall started shooting at them? You get some of these cartel types, you know. They say they want to do away with the politically correct military. The DEI is now considered, they're going to criminalize DEI. It's discrimination. And diversity, equity, and something else. I don't know. But all this, you know, woke ideology and such, they need to get rid of that, and they've really jacked up the military. They want a diverse military. Well, they fired Trump fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and I think he's picked out a lieutenant general that he's going to put in his place. Kash Patel was confirmed head of the FBI, and I believe I've heard that maybe he's going to put him up for head of the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. And yes, cleaning house. I guess I would say that that's gratuitous. Is that a good word, gratuitous? I don't know. You can't, you're not going to solve anything overnight. They're 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 basically auditing the accounts. They're auditing the various departments. They're basically, spring cleaning. Let's take everything out, look at it. And they're finding a lot of stuff that's not good. Yeah, I agree. They, I think they basically pink slipped, or they have, they're letting about 6,000 IRS agents go. 6,000. Reportedly about 10%, I think, which is a decent start. Well, I don't consider ATF as law enforcement. I don't consider them as law enforcement. Um, they're clearing out a lot of Washington D.C. I hear there's a federal building out in San Francisco named after Nancy Pelosi. They're going to shut that thing down. I think they're going to repurpose it, or they're going to sell it, or whatever. They're talking about, why does ATF need attack helicopters? Well, you remember during the Obama administration how you had a lot of these different agencies that were buying weapons and buying ammunition. They're basically buying up 9mm, 357, 40 caliber, 223, 12 gauge. They were buying up a lot of ammunition. There was a shortage because they were buying just millions and millions of rounds. It's like, well, why does the Postal Service need, or why does. And then they talk about all these armed IRS agents that they wanted, to. And then they talk about repurposing a lot of them. So, like, you got some of them that they have to keep, but they'll repurpose them. Like, they were talking about FBI being reassigned to go down to the border and do paperwork, so that the Border Patrol agents and people that are responsible for securing the border and apprehending, so they can do what they need to do. And they'll basically have these FBI, people who aren't necessarily trained, but they're trying to find people to do jobs so that the Border Patrol agents basically just patrol the border. They're not securing prisons, or their detention facilities. They're not securing, they're not doing the paperwork when they apprehend them, that they turn them over to somebody. Um, you think about what's going on. 4 in the House and 10 likes. You think about what's going on. Well, they're going to go look at that, and they're going to look and see if it's there. If it's not, yeah, where is it? There's a lot of money that's gone out that they can't account for. It's, like, went out, nobody knows, where it went to. It was allocated, and then there's no paperwork that justifies where it went to. Billions of dollars. Money going to, like money laundering, I guess. And then you have people that are showing up where you got a $200,000 a year job, and all of a sudden you're worth $30 million. I heard them say something about Elizabeth Warren up in Massachusetts. They're asking about I don't know. You know, somebody was I did a short on the price of gasoline in Victoria, where I live. I went and I filled up both tanks today. I went and filled up my Jimmy, and then I filled up 300 this morning. And right now, the price of unleaded gasoline is $2.49, and it's $2.49 today, and then maybe next week it'll be $2.67, and then it'll be back down to $2.49. It just, you know, and you have people, talk about, well, the price of gas here is like a lot higher. Well, it's the tax that the state's putting on it. Like, I think California, I think, has the highest gas tax. It's several dollars a gallon, their gas tax. It's just outrageous. And that's, a big source of their money, how they make their money. But, the cost of living in California is a lot higher. I had a friend that used to stay in touch with me. My first year as a teacher, he taught at my district, and then he moved with his wife to California, and he was teaching out in California. He stayed in touch with me every year because I had the same phone number. Every year he'd call me once or twice a year to stay in touch. And he would talk about how much money he was making. And $7.99 in LA. Yeah, it's outrageous. And he would talk about how much money he was making. And he was making, like, if you were when I became an administrator after several years. He was making as much as a teacher as I was as an administrator. But his cost of living was a lot higher than my cost of living. And his administrators, if you were an administrator out there, you were making a lot of money. But the cost of living was a lot higher. $2.78. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it around that price. When Trump was president the last time, I remember while he was in office, the price of gas was like around $1.75. Around $1.75. So it's right at $1 more, and it has been over that here. That, under Biden, because of the way things have been, the price of gas has been $1 more. You're paying $1 more. The cost of living, what you make a certain amount of money, the cost of living is so much more. The value of your money is less. Food, forest, permaculture. Hello, Howie. Seven in the house, 12 likes. I don't know. I'm getting ready for another work week tomorrow. It'll be Monday, and I'll be ready for Friday. I think I get paid tomorrow. It's normally the 25th, but if you have direct deposit, you usually get it a day early. So I should get my warm fuzzy from the school district. And then at the end of the month, this is February, so is this a leap year? I don't think this is a leap year. So we're on the 28th, which is Thursday. No, Friday. Maybe Friday. I'll get my retirement check. So I get my 2 fuzzies. Yes, stockpile. Prep. Be prepared. Stuff that you use, stuff that you eat. I need to go buy another case of cups. I get these 1,000. I'm on my last pack. So I need to go over to Sam's and get another box. And check the TP. I hadn't been buying any TP because I get these cases, and I got cases and cases of them. Water. You have clean drinking water. You have a means to purify it. Yes, don't be like certain people from the Caribbean that eat animals and pets. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. What was that song that they did? Staples has laid off hundreds of workers here. We live in, it's like the Chinese curses. An old Chinese curse that says, may you live at interesting times. Well, we live in interesting times. We live in interesting times. And $10 for eggs, free range. Voodoo. When I heard Voodoo, I thought, hey, Voodoo Kitchen Mama, are you here? She was one of my early winners. Used to watch everything I would put out. Every once in a while, she'll pop up, you know, and leave me a comment. She's in Florida. $10 for eggs, free range. Yeah, getting to the point where it'll be $1 an egg. When I did my egg video, I point out that an 18 pack over at Walmart where I live is about $7.50 for an 18 pack. If you get organic eggs, it's $8 a dozen, because somebody had said $8 a dozen. I said, yes, organic. The price on organic. And then you get one of these big boxes that's like $28 for a big box of eggs, you know. And dogs and cats and chickens are used in voodoo. Yeah, they are. They practice this Santeria, this like a perversion of Catholicism. They call it Santeria down south. And they blood sacrifice. They call it blood sacrifice. I don't know. But yes, be prepared. Prep. Lay in a supply of what you use. That's just like, you know, milk. I need to go in and inventory again what I have, you know, and add up how long it'll last. I have a couple of years worth of, for beverages and such, you know, like, you know, freeze-dried milk. I have a couple of years supply of the stuff. Certain things I'm deep in, certain things I'm not as deep, you know. You want to eat beans and rice? I can feed you beans and rice for probably a year or more, till you'll be sick of the stuff. But I got to get depth in other things, and I'm working on it. Grow a garden. It's not racist. Yes, it's not racist. Grow a garden. Yeah, don't eat the dogs. There may come a point where there are feral animals and you'll be eating feral animals. You get packs of them. You get attacked by a feral pack of animals, unless you get attacked by a couple, you got some feral dogs, you shoot them. Well, you're going to let them go to waste, or you're going to eat them. Realistically speaking, they say, I mean, I've read that a dog or a cat makes a good meal, And you gotta what you go to some of these Asian places, you gotta watch out because they get in trouble. Sometimes you question what the meat is. What is the meat? Down in Corpus, where I used to live, you had a restaurant row over an Air Street, and you'd have some of these Hispanic places and Asian places. All you can eat. One of those Asian places got in trouble for some questionable. They were serving some questionable stuff. Yes, raising rabbits, raising quail, meat rabbits, quail, chickens, goats, and goats will also give you milk. Yeah, you gotta have good fencing with goats. Quail doesn't take up that much space. Rabbits do not take up that much space. Like, oats. I've got a lot of pails of oats that you can use to, you can make bread with it. I like oatmeal. I've got a lot of, I've got a number of tin cans of like cream of wheat. So good. I enjoy cream of wheat. I enjoy oatmeal. I've got butter powder, cheese powder, lots of whey milk powder, moo milk, chocolate milk, orange drink mix, freeze dried coffee. 30 pounds of beans. Oh, I have a couple 100 pounds of beans. At least. I really need to do an up-to-date inventory. Oh, put more in, put more in. It's like dated and everything. Can it up. Use those food grade buckets, Mylar bags, those 5-gallon Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, moisture absorbers, food grade lid. Make sure you date the stuff. Yep, yep, yep. Oats for the chickens. Yep. And not just pinto beans. You got to have variety. And by variety, we get variety. I'm at the point where I'm buying pails of stuff. And yeah, you need a grinder. Mogaheti. Old school. Mogaheti. Mortar and pestle. Mogaheti. Feed little carp to chickens. Yeah. Well, any other ideas on what I should do my next news on? I've decided I'm going to do a news in the near future on the Fed's efforts to secure the wall, secure the border. I think I did a pretty good one on Texas's effort. It's got a pretty good number of views. And I think my next one may be something related to what the feds are doing. I still want to do one. Take care, Howie. Howie, thank you for coming. I'm really thinking that, and I might do one on the maladies, the resurgence of certain childhood maladies that are affecting people. Everybody's catching everything. There's a big lot of mumps and measles. Texas now. Mumps and measles. I do not look forward to that coming to at my school. It's been COVID and flu. And basically, COVID is like the flu. You go take a COVID test. You get COVID. Didn't test positive for COVID. Well, you got the flu. You tested positive for COVID. Well, that's like the flu. Leprosy. Oh Lord. Leprosy. Whew. I don't know. Do y'all like me when I clean shave? Got the beard trimmed. I don't look like Santa. Well, I do look like Santa, but I look like Santa with a trimmed beard. White beard. Armadillos carry leprosy. I have not seen any armadillos in my neighborhood where I live. I've got proof of certain animals because my dog killed a skunk. Damn thing stunk up the place. Got them, sprayed them. Possums. Dogs killed a possum. Rats. Out there. Yep, you got rats. I would tell you, have good boots. Have some boots. Good boots. Something that comes up your calf. Snakes. You don't want to be walking around at night. Got to worry about snakes. And you don't want to have a copperhead bite you or whatever. A rattler. You'll hear a rattler. Usually they'll let you know that they're there. East Texas was a big hotbed of leprosy. Something else I'd like to talk about possibly would be the upcoming pole shift. That's another topic, talking about pole shift. That's one I'd like to do one on, pole shifts. That is one I think I'm going to do. I've been reading up a little bit on that. Pole shift. So I have heard been talking about it. Trump is trying to make peace in Europe, and yeah, you got to watch out up there, East Texas, the piney woods. You hear that Texas accent? That's the piney woods accent. When they do the redneck, that's the piney woods up in the northeast Texas. That's that accent. The piney woods. So I've got several topics. I will try to put out another news this week. It'd be nice if I could do one a week. I've got to get Dave's box out to him. Got a nice first aid kit for him. He requested first aid kit and then some additional stuff that I'm sending him. It takes me forever to I want to do a video of it. But he'll get it. Hopefully this coming week I'll get his done. He's patient, takes forever, you know. Look into asteroid X 2024. Yeah, they're finding asteroids, they're finding stuff entering or re-entering. They had one that was supposedly about 28 inches across that came in over Russia. It really lit up the night sky. It was a lot of pyroclastic, it disintegrated, but it made a light show. And they saw it, or they found it like half a day or a day, 20 hours before it came in. It came in at an angle, coming very fast, very small, and they've got stuff up that they're looking for stuff now. So they're finding stuff that before they didn't find it. It's just, it would happen. Oh, okay. Hey, no hurry. When you do, you do. It took me forever to get it to you. I've been promising it probably for a month or more. Maybe longer than that. And second moon or planet killer. Oh. All right, Uncle Al. X 2024. X 2024. Asteroid. I'll look into that one. Excuse me. Yes, praying for your recovery. God bless you. My wife's had those CT scans. They're not fun. They inject you with some dye, and then, yeah. Wormwood. Oh, that's a good one. Wormwood. Yes. That'd be a biblical, yes. Well, there's something out there that's messing up beyond the Oort cloud that they think might be several times the size of the Earth, that's in one of these extended orbits that they can't see. It's real dark, but it's messing with some of the other little minor planetoids out there. So they think there's something out there. That might be your wormwood, or that might be your Akanaki, or what do you want to call them. You got a deep hole on that one. We'll go down the rabbit hole. I will tell you, if you really want to talk about that kind of stuff, um, look to the Jews building the third temple. If you want to talk about the Book of Revelations, and if you want to talk about, the end of days, what's going to happen, and circumstances and everything for that, you have to take into account that the Antichrist can't do what he's going to do if the temple's not there. So look for them to build a temple. Exoplanet. Yes. One of these small planetoids. Well, that the extinction of the dinosaurs some 56 million years ago, or whenever it was, that was something about the size of Mount Everest. It came in and hit along the Yucatan Peninsula. And it basically just wiped out everything, all the megafauna and all the dinosaurs and everything big. And we periodically get hit with stuff. During the last ice age, the Younger Dryas, they call it, we had a ice sheet over North America. It was a couple of miles thick. And something came down 12,000 years ago or so and hit that ice sheet. And basically, it killed everything in North America. And sea levels rose. All that ice melt. Sea levels rose several hundred feet in less than a year, globally. So, yeah, a lot of the churches, it said there are Anunnaki spirits have not been defeated in Gaza. Well, the leadership, they're in Qatar. They have shelter. The top 100, 150 of them, the top brass of that group from Gaza. They're in one of these little kingdoms over there, sultanates or whatever you want to call it. Is it Qatar? That's where they're at, and they need to go in. They need to send some special operators in, go deal with them, and that'll take care of those bastards. Excuse my language. Well, a lot of poor people don't eat beans. They might have to start. I'll tell you that's something I'd like to talk about for a minute or two. My wife, my kid, people that I know, they talk about stuff that they will eat and they will not eat. I'll offer them. I get a lot of organic little food packs, different stuff, and I'll offer them like a 3-bean chili, like one of these vegetarian chilies, or I'll offer them some beans, different types of beans. They get different varieties. You put in the microwave for a minute, pour it into the bowl, and you got a crackers. It's a nice meal. Oh, they don't eat beans. Lactose. They're lactose intolerant, and beans give them gas. You know. They won't drink milk, and they milk products and certain things, ice cream or whatever. They can't do that, and they don't want to eat beans. And it's like I told them. I said, hey, if society falls apart, stores close, and you're with me, you'll eat what the hell I give you, because you will eat. But it won't necessarily be what you want to eat. But you'll have food, and you'll have food in your belly, and it won't be bad food. So all these people crying about they won't eat this and they won't eat that, you know, you want to live, then you'll eat what I feed you. And well, that's different. That's a catastrophic, emergency type situation. Oh well, you know, I'm offering to feed you. We can give you some Beano if you're worried about too much flatulence. We'll give you some Beano or whatever. Give you an antacid or whatever. Well, and I understand that. I'm not talking about every day. There'd be some variety. But don't shy away from the cookout scene. It's going to happen. It would happen. The other thing is there are different types of beans. There are peas. Black-eyed peas are good. Lima beans, what they call butter beans, those are good. Red beans, you got different types of beans. Not just pinto beans. You got black beans. Got different types. Squash, corn, potatoes. Lots of potatoes. Not just rice, potatoes too. Good stuff. Yeah, you'll have natural gas, all right. Yeah. I mean, mac and cheese. You get freeze-dried food. They will always want to give you mac and cheese. I've got so much mac and cheese, this freeze-dried mac and cheese. It's not funny how much mac and cheese I've got. You get rice. You get different types of rice. Brown rice is good. Does not last as long. You can't store it as long. But rice is good. Yes, you need a grinder. You certainly need a grinder. Yeah, you can plant potatoes in a small area. Well, the idea of growing potatoes is you basically you take some of your you leave a few of them, and they'll start sprouting. And you just cut off those little nubs, a little bit of potato, and you plant them in dirt. You can use a 5-gallon bucket. Cut some holes in it for water drainage in the bottom. Poke some holes in it. And you can plant those, and they'll grow, and they'll make you, they'll make you some. You just have to, and it takes a while to do it. They're going to basically sprout. You're going to have, there's a, that'd be another one I should probably do. I should do something on basic growing of basic, garden type stuff. I could do one on that. Yams and sweet potatoes. FEMA September. Yes. FEMA sponsors a National Preparedness Month, September. You can do that like container gardening. My wife likes to do above ground gardening. She has these black pots. I've grown stuff in them. Yeah, what I would do is I would document what you're doing in a little notebook. What you do. Um, Make yourself a little calendar. Watering. Um, Miracle Grow, or what you want to fertilize. When did you plant it? When should it be ready? Document it. Take some pictures. Squash is good. Yeah, pods. You get pods. Squash. Yellow squash is good. I do really well planting squash. Tomatoes, yes, I do very well with tomatoes. More the cherry tomatoes. I do really well with cherry tomatoes. The little small tomatoes. I do really well growing those. Yeah, Uncle Al, I don't know that he is right now because of his health, but he has a history of gardening. He's very good at gardening. He experiments. I've never done good growing corn. I will tell you that since a boy. I planted it. I have never done good with corn. I don't know why. I've done good with most things, but I've never done good with corn. Truthfully, I do not know. I do not understand. I do not know. 7 in the house, 12 likes. Mike Crusher Reviews. Hello, Mike. Thank you for coming. Well, it's going to be an interesting week. The weather's getting better. Shouldn't be as cold. I don't have any freezes coming up in the next 10 days. I think it's going to rain Thursday. At least it shows it's going to rain Thursday. You never know when it comes to the rain. The weather forecasters don't always get that right. So, if you would look at my Coffee Talk News, it's informative. Talk about chickens. Look at my shorts. I did one, and I'll do another one about once. I think about once a week. I'll try to do one showing the chicks. This last one that I did, they're about a week old now. Um, they weren't really active. I'll try to do one when they're active, up running around. You know, because they're a sight to see when they're up running around messing with each other. And when you get up in the morning, thank God for the day. You never know I had a friend pass away. They found him. He was in the hospital, and he got out. The next day, they found him laying on his floor, 78 years old. Drink your coffee and take your medication. Don't play around with that. Take your medication. If you're on medication, take it religiously. Yeah, that's a good. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay prepped, and stay armed. You know, carry, stand your ground. Okay, so everybody, please have a blessed day. Be prepared and have a blessed day. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. If I don't do a stream, I will post. So make sure you get my notifications. I was unsubscribed to somebody I had subscribed to, and I was unsubscribed to them. I had to resubscribe them. YouTube might be pulling that one again. Everybody do well, and I appreciate you. God bless.